All right, guys, why the old model of success has failed men. You see, in the old model, you are always lacking as a man. You are not enough. You do not have your power. You are putting women on a pedestal. Women, especially attractive women, have something that you don't have. Therefore, they are above you. Therefore, you do not get your needs met. Therefore, you are constantly in this sort of lack or chase of attractive women. Do you feel any different today than you did last month, last quarter, last year, 3 years ago, even maybe even 5 years ago? That same feeling you have here about yourself, that feeling of, do you have your power? Are you driving forward in your life? Are you a leader in your life? Are you creating the life you want? Is that there? Or is it more so a sense of lack, a sense that I do not have this, it is outside of me, I need to get it externally in order to feel alive and fulfilled? In the old model, it is dictated by external validation, and you let others define your value, your worth, your status amongst others, and just how you feel is not something that you control, it's something that is outside of you. And when this is the case, you will always struggle. It is something that will always be something that is out of reach, where you do not have your power. You are not living the life you want when you do not have your power, okay? And so this will continue for decades, okay? So I have clients that come to me in their 20s. I have clients that come to me in their 50s and 60s, okay? And it's interesting because I've noticed that the client in his 20s will have the same problem, the same feeling, that same feeling that of not having his power, of not being capable of creating the life that he wants, of not being able to go after the women or the relationships or create the relationships that he currently has in his life as the guy in his 50s. It's the same story. It's the same fears. It's the same rejections. It's the same limiting beliefs. So what can we learn from this? Well, this tells you that the guy in his 20s, if he does not get out of the old model, if he continues to try and succeed in the old model, he will end up being this 50-year-old man because you cannot win when you are in the old model. It is designed to keep you weak. It is designed to keep you in a state of lack, of needing something outside of yourself and not having your full personal power as a man. Therefore, life is going to be very difficult. And so if we don't change out, the guy in his 20s will continue on for his 20s, his 30s, his 40s, his 50s, and beyond. He will legitimately live the best years of his life in this state of lack, not having his power, not feeling like he's enough. And you can see that there are serious ramifications for all aspects of a man's life if he does not have his power, whether that be in his personal life and how he feels about himself, in his intimate relationships, in his relationships with friends, his social life, his family, the way he shows up in his work, in his career. Every aspect of his life is going to be impacted whether or not the man has his power. And so when a man does not have his power, he is constantly feeling weak, less, not enough, and not validated. Therefore, he's trying to chase and get it from outside of himself. And the worst part about this, whether it's the guy in his 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever age he is that the entire time that he's in the old model, he's not living his life fully. He's not alive. He's not full of energy. He's not feeling fulfilled. He's not feeling like he's on this adventure of life. Instead, it's this sort of tedious chore. It's something that he has to do. It's something that it's like this Groundhog Day where he slowly starts to lose his own self-identity in the process of trying to be successful in the old model for men. And if they're not seeing significant results or progress, they tend to take less action because if it's not working, that means they're experiencing a lot of pain, rejection, and failure. And so we, of course, don't want to do that for the rest of our lives. So we slowly start to take less and less action. And therefore, the man starts to atrophy in life. He starts to become less attractive. He starts to have less energy. He starts to lean towards comfort, safety, negative energy. He's a pessimist. He starts to really shrink, even physically shrink. His body language is less expressive. It's less commanding. It's less masculine, if you will. This is a serious problem because if the man is losing his power, if the man is taking less action, that means means he's getting what? He's getting less results in life. And the big problem here is he's doing this in a phase of the best years of his life, whether that's going to be his 20s, his 30s, his 40s, his 50s. You are legitimately not progressing in life when you're not happy, when you're not joyful, when you're not fulfilled, when you're more of a guy who's leaning towards comfort, safety, of avoiding risk, of avoiding confrontation, of avoiding tension, of trying to really just, play within your means and play, you're hiding. This is not attractive. There's no way you're going to be the guy who's going to be an attractive, charismatic, happy, fulfilled, alive kind of guy who's on the adventures of life. So in the old model, all of the things that would make you attractive are not possible because the old model puts so much suppression on the man that he cannot show up as his full self. When you're operating in the old model, you think I need to work harder. But the problem is no matter how hard you work, you're digging yourself deeper and deeper into the old model and you're falling into a downward spiral until it reaches a point where it becomes so difficult and it becomes so frustrating, he's going to succumb into distractions and into vices. And these things are easily going to take over as their short-term gratifications. And so it's a great way to hide. You're just passing time. And this is really a tragedy because this is occurring during the best years of the man's life, okay? 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, this is the time when the man can really create his life. However, if he does not have his personal power, if he does not feel enough, if he does not have that sense of, I can do this, that I am the creator of my life, then he will be the guy who doesn't have much to show for it, and he'll fall into settling, he'll fall into all kinds of comfort, and eventually just really have a regretful life as time goes on. In many ways, the man is the jailer of his own success, of his own personal happiness, of his own freedom, because men don't realize that at any point they can shift out of the old model and go into the new model for men, which is a place where they can thrive, they can be successful, they have their power, they can get their needs met, whether that's in life, in relationships, with attractive women. They can pursue the things they want and be fulfilled along the journey. This is the new model for men. There is no shortage of success, of attractive, beautiful women, of great relationships, of having a fun social life. All of that is in abundance. There is only a shortage of men who show up in their power. When you think about that, that's where the masses of men are operating from. And if we're operating from that frame, we're never going to be successful. We're never going to be fulfilled and happy. We are not going to have the relationships we want, no matter how hard we work. We must shift out of the old model and into the new model for men, a place where you can thrive, where you can have your personal power, where you can be the leader that you need to be to show up in your life, in your intimate relationships, in your social life, in your career. From this state, you are the creator of your life. I've been helping guys make this transition from the old model and into the new model for men for many years now. And the guys, as soon as they come in, it is a complete eye-opener to how they've been living and how it does not work, and how if they continue it, they are going to legitimately miss the best years of their life, possibly decades of their life, stuck in a model that negates their own success and happiness, okay? And so once they make that shift and they actually start living in this new model for men, there's different mindsets, there's different strategies and tactics that I teach specifically in how to live in this new model that shows men a whole new way of life where they are going to have their power back, where they are going to be more attractive, they're going to be happier, they're going to be more joyful, they're going to be more fulfilled on the journey. When they have this in place, it's a game changer. If you're interested in learning more about how to make this transition, go ahead and click the link in this ad. Let's have a chat and see if you have what it takes.